The Golden State Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga have agreed to a 2-year, $48.5 million deal. This deal will pay Jonathan Kuminga about a little bit over $24 million per year. And the Golden State Warriors also have a team option after this season in which they can exercise to keep Kuminga for another year, which would make it a 2-year deal. So it all hinges on the Warriors next summer if Kuminga will get that second year of this 2-year deal. Obviously, if you're Kuminga, you're hoping the Warriors don't exercise that team option so you can finally leave. This was an interesting stalemate that the Warriors and Kuminga had all summer in the sense that Kuminga made it clear to them he didn't want to be part of the Golden State Warriors. He wanted to get out of there. He wanted to have an opportunity to go to a team where he could be the man, where he would have the chance to be the go-to guy, which obviously is not going to happen in Golden State with Stephen Curry being the franchise player of the Warriors. Rightfully so, you could say, in that regard. And them now having Jimmy Butler, who is a number two. So there was really no way he was going to get the opportunity to be the man in Golden State. Hence why he wanted to leave. And on top of that, he's never liked playing with Stephen Curry or Draymond, from what I've heard. He just doesn't like playing with them. That it's not for him, and he doesn't have good chemistry with these guys, and he wanted out. I think Kuminga was also good friends with Jordan Poole, so obviously, you know how he feels about Draymond Green at heart. He probably doesn't like him. I'm assuming he doesn't. But what I've gotten is that he's never liked being with the Warriors. He doesn't like Steve Kerr simply because him and Kerr don't mesh, especially in the system with Stephen Curry, which I have a lot of empathy for Kuminga in this regard, that he just wanted to get out of this environment, which wasn't for him from a basketball standpoint, which was very toxic, but he wasn't able to do it. I actually was hoping he was going to be able to win this stalemate and go to another team, because I think we've all been in a situation where we wanted to leave, whether it's work or school where we didn't fit in. Maybe for some people that's not true, but I think for all of us, we've been at least in one situation in our life in which we just wanted to leave, where we're just like, hey, this isn't for me. I just want to get out of here and go to an environment where I can use my talents and excel without having any drama and just being able to mesh with the people around me. So we've all been there, and that's why I had empathy for Kuminga, because the Warriors have shown the last few years that they don't really care about him. They don't really care about utilizing him in the way he can be used the best. That it's not going to happen in Golden State, but they're not willing to let go of him. That's the funny thing about him. I mean, about the situation, that they can't admit that they made a mistake in drafting him and that they should have never drafted him. So I think it's like a pride thing with the Warriors, why they don't want to let him go, because then they have to acknowledge drafting him was a mistake and they wasted an opportunity to get a valuable asset during that draft in which they picked Kuminga. So I think that's one of the big reasons they're not willing to let him go, is their ego. I think the second thing is they're hoping to use him as a valuable trade asset for a trade they can make this upcoming season or maybe next season, depending on what his values on the market. So I think for those two reasons, they're refusing to let him go, essentially, because he certainly doesn't really fit well with the Warriors when you watch him play in their system. It doesn't work. His numbers last year were solid: 15.3 points per game on 45% shooting overall from the field. The season before, he was even better: 16.1 points per game at 52% overall from the field. He's never been a good three-point shooter, which also hurts him in the Warriors system, because you need to be able to hit threes to spread the floor with Steph. That's how it's always worked with Steph, with how the system is run through him, that you need shooters around him, which stretches the floor and makes it even harder to guard him. And Kuminga does not have that ability to hit threes. He's just not a good three-point shooter. So, like I said, this really does hurt Kuminga in the sense that he can't get out of Golden State and reach his potential. But I think the other thing that's interesting is that, like I said, he doesn't play well with Stephen Curry. There's a small sample size I'm just going to pull up that ESPN had pulled up today, in which it said that when he was playing with Stephen Curry this season, he averaged only 14.1 points per game. But when he didn't play with Curry, when Curry was hurt, his scoring average jumped up to 19.6 points per game. Also, his shooting percentage with Curry on the floor was only 44.5%. While when he didn't play with Curry, he actually shot better at a 48.2% percentage, which made him more efficient. So it's a small sample size, but it shows again that he's not a good complement to Stephen Curry, and he shouldn't be playing with him. He needs to be on a team separate from Stephen Curry to really reach his potential. That it just doesn't work between those two. So it's unfortunate in that regard that he's probably going to have to wait another year or two before he can really see what he can do as a basketball player, because it's definitely not happening in Golden State. So yeah, it's tough luck for him, but then again, I think he's going to sleep really well with that 24 million some dollars he's getting per year. I think that should help him out a lot, but I think this saga between him and the Warriors is going to be ongoing the next year or two, depending how things go. So it's not really over. Granted, the contractual part of it is, but the saga, I think it's definitely going to continue the next few years. Don't have anything else to say about this, and that's pretty much it.